Good evening. I'm Jay Engle with you for another episode of Model Wars. The GFS, the European, and the Canadian all in excellent agreement going through early December. It's more like a detente right now as opposed to a war between the models. Lots of ground to cover, so let's get to work. We'll kick it off with the GFS at 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. Look at this nasty slide down out of the north and west of brutally cold air for late November. It's the early season version of Arctic air, and it's really made a home across the north and east. This was initialized from this morning, so it's brutally cold. Wind chills even along the coast, close to 10 above zero. V-shaped trough as we get closer to Thanksgiving. This is the morning of the busiest travel day of the year. This would be Wednesday, V-shaped troughs. Not conducive to snowstorms because the cold air is allowed to retreat and move away to the north and east. So it's going to be primarily a rain event, especially for the coast. Cold air starts to relax. You get a little bit of Pacific penetration into the lower 48 here. So the cold air will relax across the northern U.S., but look at that strong positive PNA signature just west of Alaska. So that's a sign that it's going to try to get cold again. And here it comes. You could see that northwesterly flow into Canada. So things are going to get cold across the Canadian prairies, and this cold air eventually gets dumped into the Great Lakes and the north and east. So the slide down of high pressure systems is going to get it very cold into the early part of December. Now, notice the excellent model agreement. This is also a V-shaped trough showing up on the European. Again, these are all ensemble means. So again, this looks like a rainstorm. It will retreat quickly later on Thanksgiving. Cold and windy, by the way, for Thanksgiving, and then the cold air starts to relax towards the tail end of November. But also the Euro showing that a PNA signature, at least somewhat here. You get some penetration of Pacific air, so things modify a bit. But as we go down the road, here it comes again, that slide down out of the north and west. So this is some very cold air that's going to come into the north and east as we get ready to begin the month of December. And this could be very cold stuff here as high pressure will really try to attempt to build into the Great Lakes in the north and east. This would be a nice shot of cold air towards the tail end of that first week of December. Canadian, again, very good model agreement, has that positive PNA signature, so you supply the cold air into Canada. And look at that, nice shot of cold air as we get towards the December 6th, December 7th time period. Again, this is on the Canadian ensemble mean. Now, taking a look at the GFS ensemble mean, again, these are surface progs. We're getting that nasty shot of cold air. Storm exits on Thanksgiving. You could see it getting up into the Gulf of Maine. Here comes that shot of brutal cold. Probably not as cold as this present shot of cold air, but still, it will be measurable, pretty cold. And then the cold air starts to ease a bit as we get towards the tail end of November. But look at this Arctic high out of the Northwest Territories, and that's going to make the slide down south and east. Look at this over time. Look what we have here. We have high pressure Siberia, high pressure Northwest Territories, and you could see how the high pressure, the lines of equal air pressure are nosing south and east. So it's going to deliver cold air into the plains, the Great Lakes, and eventually the north and east. And here comes the real McCoy. This would be brutal stuff here. Very cold air. Temperatures well below normal as we get towards the tail end of that first week of December. Well, that's the latest version of Model Wars. I'm Jay Engle. Continue to follow me on Twitter at Jay's Forecast, and more updates later this week on YouTube. Make it a great week, everybody.